Hey guys, it's Mikey, aka Grayson from Buckyball. Today I'm actually interviewing Chris. He's one of the game developers from Pathea Games who's working on Super Buckyball. You also see him on the Discord server answering questions. So he has a lot of insight when it comes to this game because of course he's part of the team that's making it. So I was able to actually get a call going and have him answer a lot of the questions I have. And I'm sure there's some questions that you can relate to or were wondering about too, like what's a buckyball? What is that? Well, he answers it in this interview. Please forgive the audio at some points. It does cut off just because he's in East Asia and I'm in North America. So there is quite a distance in terms of miles. So the audio kind of cuts off. But even though it's still a great interview, and I'm so thankful that Chris, if you're listening, I'm greatly appreciative that you sat down, spent some time, and actually answered a lot of my dumb questions. Anyways, guys, enjoy the interview. Okay. So, Chris, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? What your role is at Pathea Games?
I joined the studio at 2019, and since then I've become part of the SPT's operation and marketing team. Also, I'm like a half a game designer because I provide a lot of feedbacks to the devs and suggestion about on the game design aspect. And yeah,
Awesome. And for the people who don't know what Super Buckyball tournament is, can you kind of explain it to to someone that's probably watching this video for the first time, or just someone that has seen it but just haven't picked it up yet?
the easiest way to say it is like superheroes playing soccer. That's the easiest way to say it because we got characters with abilities and they can play soccer. I mean, they play soccer to score, but instead of using the foot, they're mostly using their hands.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3v3 is multiplayer, and yeah, I think it's that put it that way is pretty easy to understand.
And this is a more of a personal question from me. Uh, what's a buckyball?
Buckyball is actually like I'm not well into like chemistry. From what I heard, is like a chemistry is an element of the chemistry stuff.
Okay.
And So I mean, probably someone from a studio that invented they came up with using that name as the because it looks on the particle looks very similar to a ball in this as the name of the game because the game is about a ball. And the reason we add the super and tournament is because we want to call it Super Buckyball actually in the first place, but then it was copyrighted in the United States. We cannot use that name legally, so we have to add like a tournament at the end of it. So
Really?
that's why how the name comes up. Yeah,
That's interesting. So it's just like because from what I've like seen like on the website and what I've like could tell from the trailer and from the little like just the hints that you guys give when it comes to how these characters are what they are. It looks like it's like a sci-fi, like it's cyberpunky world. So Bucky, if that's coming from like chemistry, like science, then that makes sense to me now.
yeah. I mean, on the background story, I mean, it's still like in the building because um, our dev team like is not super good at making a story actually. So we're still like making building the character background stories and along the way while we are making the game. So right now, still unknown.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. Well, Overwatch, they keep hinting to the story, but they haven't done it. Every once in a
Yeah,
while
they
they'll do
haven't.
something, but yeah.
Yeah, they haven't even finished it. It's still like they're releasing the story of the character while the game is out, right?
Yeah, yeah. So there's no rush. People are used to it by now.
Yeah, because we're thinking about. I mean, our type of game is not a very story based game. Is I mean, it do matters, but it's not uh that important. So, it's not in the highest priority actually. So
Again, talking about how you kind of explain the game, it's like superheroes, right, with powers and abilities, and then it's
yeah,
soccer for the rest of the world. it's football.
Yeah.
How do you guys go about balancing like a sport, like a real life sport, and then like these MOBA elements that that the game has? Like how do you guys go about like balancing it, making it feel like it could be a real sport?
That's actually most people, that's a huge football fan or soccer fan actually. So that's why I also like we're not thinking about competing against FIFA. That's why we didn't make like a mainly how do you say, leading the game towards the way of like a soccer game, actual soccer game or actual FIFA game. So we're actually more of a mobile guy, like or like a character based that sort of a team. And so what we did based on what we implemented on the sporting side is that based on our knowledge of, I mean, of course, if you are not a football fan or soccer fan, you still know some basic rules of what soccer is, right? What
Yeah.
the football is, and that's why there's no complicated rules such as offside or stuff like that. But there are also we merge some of the elements from the other games like other sports like basketball, because they're like 2 points, right?
Yeah.
The If you score outside of the circle, so we combine those easy to understand roles of each sport, and based on our understanding, and what we are good at is actually the mobile elements, like abilities, characters. So that's how we made this game. So there's no complicated sporting rules in the game. Like if we made that, like that would be more like into a niche market. And also we are not very, might not very be good at it. So that's why we didn't go that way. And also people seems to like it more if the roles are simple, and that's how we roll with it.
Okay. So let's move on to the next
Hey,
question.
Grayson? Hey?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah. That's fine.
It's the connection. What can we do? Okay, let's move on to the next question. Oh, what has been you kind of talked about this when I wasn't recording, but what has been the biggest challenge in the development of the game?
The biggest challenge, I mean, in terms of technical aspect, is the server. Is definitely the server, because we as a studio we never made a multiplayer game before. Our previous project are always single player, or like I mean, one of our project, Planet Explorer, previous project, they are kind of multiplayer, but they are not like this type of multiplayer. So they're still considered single player. So this is our first multiplayer game, and of the whole studio, and we have zero experience on that. So that's the toughest part. Because especially considering that these are uncontrollable. If they are like a technical aspect on the game design stuff, we can still fix it in some way. But the server, you never know when it's gonna crash. You never know when something might happen, and sometimes you don't even know what went wrong. Luckily, looks like the preseason is the server runs. I mean, at least it didn't crash. I mean, there are people reporting their lags, stuff like that, but at least it didn't crash. Because previously, when we launched the game into early alpha, the pre-alpha this April, like it has multiple crash.
Yeah, I remember.
Like just yeah, it was terrible. So, and crash is the most terrible thing for a multiplayer game, because that just people just don't want to play if it crashes too much. If the server is crash, it's trash. So that's the toughest part of the game actually.
Yeah, I remember in the alpha, there's times when the server will crash. I joined right at the start of the Steam Summer Festival. That's when I joined. So before, like, I wasn't part of the original alpha game, but when it was launched as a summer festival game for the demo, that's when I joined. And I remember you guys are asleep in China, and we in the United States, our server crashes, and now we can't play the game.
Yeah, that was the most terrible thing. It's also like the time lap is also like kind of so like we might not be able to stay up all night to monitor the server. So that's, I mean, this time preseason it ended up not crashing, which is already a very good side of for us, you know.
Mm-hmm. What? How is the game like in China? In that region, that server, is there a community there?
Oh, you mean the China? How is the server in China going, right?
Yes.
So basically we got like it wasn't bad. At least actually before the preseason, it was the best performing server throughout. But since the preseason, we got plenty of traffic, and looks like players from North America and Europe, they are more into into this type of game compared to the Chinese players. So actually, right now there are more people playing the North America and Europe compared to China. We got a peak player number around 300 people in China, but which for Europe and North America, they're like 500
Wow.
in peak. So you can see that it's not as well performed as the EU and North America, but I mean it's still pretty good. I think it's the third best performing service. And I think the main reason is that the Chinese player, they are not big fan of this type of game because uh, I mean Rocket League didn't perform well in China as well. So I mean I would say it's a similar type of game. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're more like Chinese player. They're more into the like League of Legends, that type of MOBA, not like a, you know, a 3D type sporting MOBA. Is actually a different genre.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still pretty good though. Like we still value as a very important market.
Of course, yes. Um, so when it comes to all the characters in the game, what character is your favorite?
My personal probably, I mean, because I'm a selfish person, so I gotta say which character I'm very good at because that's my favorite.
Okay.
I would say Pink because that's my that's my best character like out there because I'm actually okay with all characters. I play all characters since I'm one of the part of the dev team, so I have to be good at all characters. I have to practice because I made all those tutorials actually. I made it myself, so I gotta learn all the characters. But Pink is my best performing character because her ultimate and her ability are so simple, and I think it's very easy to use compared with Long. You need some like good aiming stuff. Pink, I think, requires less aiming than those characters, and you don't need to be as. Some people say that Pi was are very good at like are very strong because he can, you know, like a dash, right? But the thing is, I'm not good at dash, so
Mm-hmm.
Pi is not my favorite, but Pink it is, and also um the Samba is the new character. Samba is also like kind of started to become one of my favorite because but I haven't played him that much because he's a new character
Mm-hmm.
just introduced for the preseason, so I haven't played him that much, but I kind of like him as well. So Pink is my favorite, and Samba might be my favorite over the next few months.
Yeah, I like Pink too. Pink is I'm a Lang main. I play Lang like all the time. I always call myself the second best Lang main, just because I know I'm not number
Who is the
one.
first?
But it's always just for jokes. But yeah, I'm a Lang main at heart. But if I ever want to mix it up, again, I can't. I don't know how to like with Pi. I can't dash well either. But with Pink, I always end up like right clicking at the right time and making using her color cannon. So I like Pink a lot. So the next question, because of the preseason, you know, it's a new launch. What has been the biggest surprise for you since this preseason?
That's a very good question. Actually, the biggest surprise is the player number. I mean, we had a goal. We wanted to have like a kind of like 30 to 50K players coming for the first week, but it exceeded that amount by kind of lot. So, which is our that's our biggest surprise because with more players playing the game, we got motivation to continue to develop the game. Because if we had no players playing or have much less players playing than we expected, it's gonna turn up the same as our first alpha. Because the reason why we think the previous alpha test didn't went up that well is because there was no player playing. That's devastating for a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
And this time we got a lot of player playing, which means that we can get valuable data. We can test how's the retention going, how's we can gather multiple statistics, and also can see players loving our game. We got like I think 1,200 reviews on Steam now, so which is we can see all people loving our games. They're making good suggestions, motivating us to improving our games, which is the best things possible for the preseason. No surprising thing.
Yeah, it surprised me too. I was hoping for players to play, and your whatever marketing strategy you guys chose did really well.
Yeah, you worked this time.
Yeah, you got a lot of players in. I saw your ads, like I watch Musty, which is a big YouTuber
Yeah,
in the States.
yeah.
He's probably the biggest Rocket League YouTuber.
Yeah, I think we went for the right person, right?
Yeah. So yeah, good timing, good effort on your side. Okay.
Thanks.
Um, so how does a studio balance working on the game, like doing the stuff that needs to be done to get to be a full release game, versus like versus fixing things now? Like right now, you get players complaining about buffs and nerfs, or they're complaining about glitches or whatever it could be. But how do you guys balance like those two aspects?
You mean how to balance all the kind of feedbacks?
Yes, yeah, because I know you guys are working on the game and working hard to get the game out and in 2021. But you hear players right now, begging you, asking for like patches and updates. How do you guys balance
Yeah,
those two?
yeah, that's a very good question. Um, Basically, we didn't have too many updates throughout the preseason. It's because that's because we knew that it's gonna end by the end of this week. And the main purpose of the preseason, one of the main purposes of the preseason is to gather player feedback. Right now, we are gathering the player feedback, uh, all sorts of feedback and suggestions. And what we're doing, we're not we haven't fixed some of it because first of all, it's kind of hard to fix in such short amount of time. Secondly, is that we need to take time to like evaluate those feedback, and we're gathering. We receive tons of feedback, and those we will make a. That's why we are making a roadmap. We don't even know before the preseason. We don't even know what's the next step for the game. We don't even know what's the plan for development. Right now we got a kind of clear plan because people were asking for it. There are a lot of people asking for it. Also, one of the thing we need to, how to say, in terms of feedback, is that we got players. We got two, maybe let's, for example, the ball cam previously, who had like the previous the ball cam is like if you have to hold it, that the ball can will be on. But then because there are a lot of people suggesting that the ball can, you should like just click once and then you always like into the in the ball can like a mode, and so that's why we change it. But then a lot of people were saying, I prefer the hold to activate that kind of ball can. So right now you obviously looking at two different type of groups that prefers, like one prefers hold to activate, one prefers like click to activate. So uh, it happens all the time. We got players suggesting like two completely different feedback. One thinks this would be great, one thinks another way would be great. So we have to make compromises. We have to think of how we design the how we actually design this aspect. Like it happens all the time throughout the preseason. Also, we got one of the most requested aspect is the character balance. We didn't change any character balance on the balance side throughout the preseason, is because we knew that it's gonna end soon, and we needed time to think about if any of the character need to be reworked. And as you can see, there are a lot of people asking to they say that the pie is overpowered. The pie's design has some problems. Also, they think R47 Slam has issues. They're too powerful. So that's something we receive tons of feedback on that part. So depending on how many feedbacks we receive, we might consider a rework on some of the characters, for example. So, but all of this we haven't implemented for the preseason is because that we need time to think about it. Also, some of the aspect we need to invest time on optimize it, and that need quite some time that we cannot make it to the preseason. So, but we will keep that in mind, and we will optimize it. Definitely bring it up for the full game. You mean like I design a character?
Yeah, yeah. If you wanted
Or
to, yeah, if you had the power just to say this is what I want to do and this is what I'm gonna do, what kind of character would you want that's not in the game yet?
I probably want a character which kind of like just fly in the air. Like I mean, I knew that characters like long, like they can like jump in the air for most of the time. But I actually want a character that does not even touch in the ground. That's just floating in the air and waiting for the opportunity. Because the ball is bouncing. Actually, most of the time is on in the air. So if we design a character that's in the air, or potentially uh just running, maybe he can only move a circle around the floor. Maybe he can only stick with the floor. Some kind of ninja type character. That would be super cool. I will play that character. Like he cannot jump. He cannot like return back to the ground, but he can always stay up on the floor. I mean, if we design that character, I would be super into him.
Okay. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I know Cerulean. I interviewed him recently, and I just posted it. And I don't think it's in the video, but I asked him about what kind of characters would he like to see since he plays a lot, and he said a character that can teleport, like I guess like Portal, like the game Portal.
Yeah, yeah. But the problem is the map is so small that like it kind of decreased the benefits of using a teleport.
That's true. You could tell him.
All right.
Okay. So we're at two more questions. Second to last. Yep. What can fans of the game look forward to when the full game releases?
What players can expect for the full game?
Yes.
Players can expect. Actually, there's some system that we want to make for the preseason, but ended up don't have time for it. But we will in terms of the full game, we're gonna have a season pass. We currently have a season pass, and we'll have I think we'll have a if you win every game, you can get a loot. You can get a loot box and those type of rewards. So they're gonna be a season pass, but you can also get loot box after you won. I think not you won every game. It's like you increase in levels, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a rank mode. We're gonna have arcade mode, potentially with more game modes in there. Like currently, arcade mode has 2 modes, but we wanted to have more modes, but it's still in the making. We we are currently thinking about making a single player mode, like a single player career mode. So if you play FIFA, or I'm not sure if you played FIFA before, it's just like FIFA's career mode. So and so you can like practice, you can like train yourself, and with 2 of your teammates, you can also pick your teammates and also train the characters, like train those characters as well. So basically, uh, single player career mode. We are considering about making that. Also, we will make more characters and more stadiums. We're currently working on third and fourth stadiums, and we currently actually already made 2 new characters, but haven't been introduced because we still need to optimize those
Mhm.
characters. And we will have right now we have I think right now we have 7 characters, right? For by the full game, we are confident 10 characters and at least one extra stadium, 1 or 2 extra stadiums for the full game. And by that time, because a lot of people has been requesting that don't do double characters, like we if the reason why we have it now is because we don't have too much characters to choose from.
Mhm.
But if we have more characters by the pre-4 game, we will do that. We'll definitely do that for the rank mode. I'm not sure if we will do that for the casual game. I'm not sure, but we might do that as well. And we'll have more skins for sure as well. And yeah, also like we hope to have replays, but it's something that we have some technical issues with it because the technical difficulties, but we hope to have it because that's very important, the replay system. Also like scoring animations after you score the goal, like those little things, but like emojis, also basically like movie animations, like in-game animations if you want to dance in game, whatever you want. So add those little things into the game, that will also help a lot. So basically a better version of the current preseason, that's what we're aiming for.
That sounds very,
also
very exciting.
also
Yes.
also maybe a solo mode, maybe a solo mode.
Okay.
That's because a lot of people I knew, they wanna, they're trash talking, and they wanna,
Oh,
just
yeah, yeah.
let's do 1v1. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I
Yeah,
thought
that's
about that. I thought about like a 1v1, but uh that would be interesting just because how the game works, kind of who, I guess, who gets their ultimate first. Maybe
yeah,
that.
like we if it's 1v1, we might do like a one turn you are
Oh, okay.
goalkeeper and you defend the, like, and then another turn you are the attacker.
All right. Last question. Um, where can people go to get updated on the game, and where can we go to just see the development of the game?
Well, that's a easy question because I've been replying all that. You can wish list our full game, because make sure to wish list our full game because that's kind of important for us, and we will post updates on the full game as well after the preseason is finished. We are likely to remove the page. We're likely to remove the page. So if you still wanna check our Steam page, make sure to go to our full game Steam page because it will always be there, and we will launch our full game through that page. So Steam page, Super Buckyball tournament, not preseason, Super Buckyball tournament, and you can also get updates on to our Discord, Super Buckyball tournament Discord. And another way you can get updates is on to our Twitter, because Twitter is our main social media, and so the Twitter account is Super Buckyball, and make sure to follow us on Twitter. We don't have a website yet, so we're trying to make a website, but like still like wasn't too successful on it. So you can follow us through these 3 main ways. the Twitter, Discord, and the Steam page. If you also wanted to follow us on Facebook or Instagram, feel free to do so. It's called Superbucky Tournament. Yeah, just you can get updates on that because we'll be posting up once we got any like exciting news or events. We'll be posting on all these platforms.
Again, I want to say thank you to Chris for agreeing to sit down and do the interview with me. I was so stoked when he said yes to the interview, and I was kind of anxious or nervous when I was about to start. But Chris is such a nice guy, and I'm so glad I was able to sit down and talk to him for a bit. Guys, if you enjoyed watching the video, please leave a like and share the video. It's not going to help boost my morale, but it's also going to boost the developers' morale over there, seeing that people are interested in the game and wanting this game to succeed. Well, that's all for today. I hope you got something out of it. I sure did, and have a great day.